According to NCES 2020, Pirls stand for Progress in International Reading Literacy Study. It is an international assessment and research project that is created to calculate reading comprehension and marks for grade 4 level. Thus, this is a complete evaluation for students' ability towards reading. This research has been conducted in South Africa by the Center of Evaluation and Assessment, CEA, within 60 countries and once every 5 years. Every learner has 2 assessments to complete, one of which is a friction passage and another would be a non-friction passage. There are 2 types of Pirls achievement assessments, such as Pirls use friction passages to be assessed at the international level 4th grade. Pirls literacy uses non-fiction passages to be assessed at the lower scale, thus with easier passages to be read. One, to create tools to measure reading literacy to be in comparison to the ones internationally. 2. To implement literacy profiles to the international scale for grade 4 learners. 3. To characterize the grade 4 learners' reading habits. 4. To recognize ways to associate with literacy and reading with the learner's home, school, and lifestyle. Literacy, in my own words, I would say that it is the means to be able to speak and listen, to read and write, to understand and create, to become someone successful. According to Pirls Literacy Report 2016, an amount of 12,810 learners from grade 4 were assessed within 293 schools. South Africa's participation rate was 94%. Thus, they represented 11 official languages and were from 9 provinces. The largest languages groups were English with 23%, isiZulu with 22%, isiXhosa with 16% of the population. Most of the learners that represented were from KwaZulu-Natal with 21%, Eastern Cape with 18%, and Gauteng with 17% of the population. A description of South Africa's achievement in Pirls Literacy 2016. South Africa had participated with some countries such as Denmark, Iran, Kuwait, Morocco, and Egypt. However, South Africa came out last from all 50 countries. Pirls point are 500 and South Africa achieved only 320 points. Pirls International Benchmark. 1. Learners that cannot read and answer simple questions. It means they did not reach the lowest benchmark, 400 points. 2. Low international benchmark. It means that learners can read and answer simple questions, 400 to 474 points. 3. Intermediate benchmark. It means that learners can interpret and identify keywords and give basic explanation of the text, 475 to 549 points. 4. High international benchmark. It means that learners make clear connections, identify and interpret text and tables. 550 to 625 points. 5. Advanced International Benchmark. It means that learners can combine ideas within text, understand the author's work, and can identify topics as well as events. 625 to above points. Grade 4 benchmark attainment. Only 4% of the international learners did not make it to the lowest benchmark, with 10% reaching the advanced benchmark. Whereas South Africa, 78% of the learners did not even make it to the lowest benchmark. Thus, only a small amount of the learners, that is 0.2%, have attained the advanced benchmark. South Africa does lack basic reading literacy skills. A brief comparison between the Pirls of 2011 and 2016. There isn't much difference in scores between 2011 and 2016. In 2011 with 323 points and in 2016 with 320 points overall. If we compare boys and girls, boys in 2011 scored 307 points, whilst in 2016 they scored only 295 points. Thus, it went lower. Whereas girls in 2011 scored 341 points, whilst in 2016 scored only 347 points. Also, not a big difference, but girls' score results improved much more than boys. Overall, in 2011, 76% of learners did not reach the lowest benchmark. Also, in 2016, 78% of the learners did not reach the lowest benchmark. To conclude, between both years, there isn't much difference, and South Africa is still in the lowest in terms of reading literacy. Key finding of Pirls literacy grade 4 study. South Africa is literally 6 years behind compared to other countries in reading literacy. Only 4% of South African learners managed to score international level benchmark. Between the years 2011 and 2016, there isn't much difference in scores. 84% of boys did not reach the lowest benchmark level, and 72% of girls did not reach the lowest benchmark level as well. Learners living in smaller towns had the lowest score in reading compared to learners who live in cities. Only 21% of learners speak English at home. Around 62% of learners attend schools with no access to libraries. Children who have been exposed at home to reading by their parents have better reading ability. Main recommendations of Pirls Literacy 2016: to encourage students to spend more time reading, to provide books and other reading materials. Learners must have access to libraries at school. Teachers must learn how to teach reading literacy to learners. To have smaller classrooms. And to emphasize reading to smaller children for better development in literacy. Conclusion. According to NCES 2020, Pirls is a complete evaluation for students' ability towards reading. This research has been conducted within 60 countries and once every 5 years. One of the Pirls objectives would be to create tools to measure reading literacy to be in comparisons to the one internationally, and to characterize the learners' reading habits. South Africa's participation rate was 94% and they represented in 11 official languages over 9 provinces. Lastly, 78% of South African learners did not achieve even the lowest benchmark. Therefore, South Africa does lack basic reading literacy skills.